Hi, everybody. I'm Professor Staples. By now, hopefully, you have seen the email that I sent out discussing the change in your CHY 113 course this semester. The nuts and bolts of it are that there is that Professor Ford, who was scheduled to teach your class, decided to take a well-deserved retirement. Professor Ford taught for us for many years, was a fantastic professor, terrific colleague, great mentor to me, and we will miss him terribly. But he is going on to some relaxation, I hope. And so, try as we might, however, that did leave us in a situation of trying to find someone to fill his shoes for this course. And unfortunately, we just didn't find anyone that we would be happy with to teach the course. And so, rather than cancel the course altogether, we decided that I would teach it remotely for this semester. And it's it's not ideal. It was a hard decision for us because this is certainly not the way that I prefer to teach chemistry. It's not the way that many of you prefer to learn chemistry. But we did feel that it was a better option to do this, like I said, rather than cancel the entire course, which was unfortunately the option that we were left with. And so you will be taking your Chem 113 course this semester remotely. And we'll talk about how this is going to work, but all lecture content, etc., will be delivered by video. I will use recorded videos for the most part that I recorded when, in the height of the pandemic, I did teach this course online for everybody. And so I have a series of recorded videos that I will use for most of the lecture delivery. I'll supplement those with some new ones that I make here and there. But for the most part, I will be using some of those older videos. Luckily, at least for the topics that we discuss in this class, chemistry hasn't really changed much in the last year and a half. Well, we haven't made any new startling discoveries that are going to affect things like atomic structure that we discuss, or stoichiometry and things like that. And so those recorded videos are still very relevant for us. All of your homework, and we'll get into some more detail on this as we go on through this course intro video. But for the last couple of years, Dr. Ford and I have been the primary instructors of this course, and we've used an online homework platform even for our quote unquote live courses. We've used this platform for all of our homework assignments. And so you'll be doing the same exact homework that students in the live course are doing, same homework, same platform. And the only difference, or the only say difference. So you will be coming into campus for your exams. And so that was one of the big drawbacks to when I did teach this course online. I just wasn't happy with the exam options that I had. And so you will be coming in for live paper exams, just like a regular live class, so to speak. We'll see where those dates on the course schedule, and you'll come in during what was your normally scheduled class time at 5 o'clock on either Monday or Wednesday, depending on the schedule. And so, again, just sort of to reiterate, all lecture delivery, all content delivery will be online via recorded video that you'll be able to watch on your own schedule, on your own time. The homework will be conducted on an online platform, which you'll be able to work on, again, at your own schedule. There are due dates, obviously. You'll be able to work on that on your own time frame. And you will come in for live exams, and we'll see the schedule for those. And so just looking at, again, as sort of a little more of how it will run, I will be sending out, you're not going to be just completely on your own. I will be sending out weekly emails and communicating with you very regularly. I will send out an email every Monday morning that goes over all of the sort of the topics that we will be discussing that week, reminds you of due dates, and points you to the very specific lectures that you should be focusing on for that week. And so I think probably the next thing to do is to really start to look at the course website, which is our central hub for this class. Again, it's the same hub and the same platform, same resource that I use whenever I teach this course, whether it be live or remote. And so let's just pull that up. And I sent the link to this in your email, so you should have this website, the link to this website up. And so this website will be, like I said, really the central hub for the entire course. You'll find many different things on here. You'll find the syllabus. I won't go into much detail here. Let's see, maybe a couple highlights from the syllabus. As far as materials that you will need for the course, our textbook that we use is a free online textbook. Link to that is right here. It's called OpenStax. And so that link will bring you right to your textbook with a table of contents, and you'll see in a couple minutes how to know when to read what chapters and so forth. But we do use that free online textbook. There is a print version available through Amazon. Let's see, I've got a copy of it here. For those of you like me who do prefer just a hardcover textbook, there is this print version. I think it's $40. Let's see. Let's make sure that it is available right now. Sometimes they have availability issues with this text. Looks like there is a rental option available. That's interesting. That's a difference, I believe. Okay, so you can buy a paperback. There we go. You can buy a paperback edition of the text for $44, it looks like, $44.50. And it looks like right now the rental option is the only option. Oh, there we go. Sorry. We just have to go down a bit. You can buy the hardcover for $55. And so if you do prefer to have a hard copy edition of the book, it is available for Amazon. Again, not required. The online version is the exact same book. And so you could read the book on your laptop, on your computer, on your mobile device, wherever you wanted. Through Amazon, you can see that you can also download the Kindle version of the book. And so you could have that available to you right on your mobile device if you wanted as well, using the Kindle app. And so lots of options available there. I had mentioned the homework platform. That's through a platform called Active Chemistry. For those of you who are familiar with the course or taking the course again, this is the same platform as Chem 101, if you've heard of, and for those of you who haven't been through the course at all, Chem 101 is the platform that we used to use. Active Chemistry is the same exact thing. They've just changed the name. They've gone through a little bit of rebranding through their company. So Active Chemistry is now the name, same exact thing. Active Chemistry or Chem 101, I'm probably going to keep calling it Chem 101 just because I've been calling it for a few years now. But it is a great platform for, pull that one up here. I think it's a great homework platform. I've looked at and used several different homework platforms for just various chemistry homeworks, and different publishing companies have different platforms. Oops, I already have an account. There we go. I'm not trying to make a new one. I'm trying to sign in. See if I can remember my password. There it is. And so, oops. What am I trying to do here? Thought there was an option for me to have a different view. There we go, view a student. Because this would be a very similar view to what you have. No homework's up yet because it's not available yet. But this gives you a basic idea of what the platform looks like. Again, all of your homework will be taking place on this platform, so that is a required component of the course. Instructions for how to sign up can be found right on this link. A couple notes here are that you can either go right to the active site itself and purchase your access. It's, I forget exactly how much, somewhere between $40 and $50 for a semester's access. There is a free trial of option that is available up until September 12th, I believe, is that cutoff. After that, you will have to purchase access to it. You can either purchase that access directly through the active site. Honestly, well, that's what I recommend. It's just a little bit easier, fewer steps are involved. If you do have to go through the bookstore, some of you have to go through the bookstore for financial aid reasons, absolutely fine. You would just go to our e-bookstore site, the ecampus.com, and from there, they will give you a digital code. You will enter that digital code into Active. Now, here's an important note. If you do go through the bookstore, that digital code that they give you is different from the course code for the class. The digital code that the bookstore gives you simply gives you access to Active. It's what you're using to show Active that you have paid for your access. From there, you still have to enter this course code. For those of you who are just going through Active, this is the only code that you would have to enter. And so just keep that differentiation in mind. One of the other things that you'll find on Active, let's exit the student view, you'll find a lot of practice problems on here too. You'll see that I have practice problems arranged by different unit. So for instance, if you're really struggling as we move on, you want some more practice with atomic structure, you would just come in here to chemistry practice, atomic structure, and lots of different questions there that you'd be able to answer. We can take a look at what one might look like. How many electrons in a neutral calcium atom? The answer, without looking at a periodic table, I'm pretty sure is 20. And so that gives you an idea for what it looks like. You will see that if you get an answer wrong, so let's look at number 2 here. So I'm going to select this, which I know is an incorrect answer. You get a little bit of feedback. And you'll get that in the homework too. When you're doing your homework, if you get a wrong answer, you'll see some feedback there that at least starts to give you some hints as to where you might have gone wrong. And so it's telling us here that these two that we've chosen do not have this, or they do have the same mass number, but they are different elements. And so it's giving you some of those definitions that you would need. That's one of the things that I like about this platform is it provides you with some of that feedback. Other things you'll need for the course, scientific calculator. You'll need to have something that is capable of scientific notation. It doesn't necessarily need to be a big TI graphing calculator like this one, although if you already have one of these are fantastic and work very well for the course. But if you don't have a scientific calculator already, again, it doesn't need to be a big fancy TI. It just needs to be a calculator that is labeled scientific calculator, because you'll need to be able to use what we call scientific notation. Let's see, anything else from the syllabus to really discuss? A couple of the policies. And so homework, like I mentioned, all on the Active website. When you are doing your homework on there, and I believe I might have this listed on the homework side of the page. So a couple things to note there is, one, that deadline extensions won't be granted. If you email me, so homeworks for the most part are due Monday nights by midnight, essentially. And if you email me, say, Monday at 10 p.m. and say, Professor Staples, I'm really having some problems here. My computer's not working. I haven't started the homework. I don't know what to do. My answer is going to be to the effect of tough luck. Plan ahead, start homework early, plan accordingly, and just keep that in mind. That homework extensions are not granted, or deadline extensions are not granted. The lowest 2 homework scores are dropped. Because I'm not that big of a hard ass, I do recognize that stuff happens. And so the lowest homework scores will be dropped. Active, just another note about for your homework, Active does have a pretty good phone app. And so they've got a pretty good mobile app as well. And so you can do your homework. You could do all of your homework right from your phone if you wanted to. This is what I was looking for here. And so for most of the Active questions, if it's a multiple choice question, you'll have 3 attempts. For anything that is sort of a calculation or providing an answer, you'll have 5 different attempts. You do lose 10% for each wrong answer. And so homework, you should not view homework as practice. Homework is what you do when you want to start testing yourself and making sure that you know the material. There are lots of different practice problems available, and I'll show you where you can access some of those. But like it says here, homework should not be when you first practice and do these problems. There are plenty of practice worksheets available on the website, available on Active, and so you should be doing those before attempting the graded homework. And so because there are penalties for wrong answers, and you only have so many attempts, you can't just sit there trying all sorts of different answers until you get it. And then just instructions for accessing Active here. Let's go back to the syllabus. There we go. So other policies, like I said, there will be 3 exams throughout the semester, keeping in mind that your exams will be live exams that you will come to the Portland campus for. And we'll look at the schedule and see when those are. For right now, I believe they're going to be in Science 165, but I'll communicate that. We're still sort of discussing some of the room situations. If you completely bomb a test or you just miss one, again, I do understand that life happens. And so there is a policy of essentially, what I'll do is if you completely bomb an exam or you miss an exam, I will take the average of your other 2 exams. I will subtract 15, and that number will replace the bombed exam or the low score. And so, for instance, if you happen to get let's say an 85 on exam 1, something happens, you're sick, family member's sick, whatever, life happens, and unit 2, you get a 30 on that test. So you've had an 85 and a 30 so far. And then let's say things get back to normal a little bit, so you get a 75 on exam 3. So what I would do is I would average your 85 and your 75, going to average together to an 80, subtract 15 for a 65. That 65 would replace your exam 2 score of the 30 or whatever it was. And so that does make it so that if something happens and you do very poorly on one exam, it's not going to kill you as long as your others are okay. And then just the final exam there. The final exam will be cumulative. We'll talk more about that as the semester goes on. Read through the rest of the syllabus on your own, just some other policy information in there, but definitely make sure to read through your syllabus. As my little comic says up in the top here, it's in the syllabus. Chances are, if you have a question about something, about how the class is going to run, how you're graded, if you have a question about just the class in general, it's probably answered in the syllabus, and so check that out. And also,
a message from Big Snoop Deal Double G to all the university students. Yo, syllabus. You gotta do it. You gotta read it. Man,
listen to Snoop.
The more you know, the further you go. Tell them Snoop Dogg sent you. Syllabus. I know all about it. Catch up so we can have a conversation. Don't be late. Let's go.
Even Snoop Dogg tells you to read the syllabus. And it's not just for this class. That's just important in general. Read the syllabi for your courses. A lot of good information in those. So one of the other important things, or it's all important, but one of the other really important things on our website here is your course schedule. So let's just pop this out into its own window, make it a little bit bigger. And so this course schedule brings us to everything that we will be doing in the course. So you see, for instance, in this first week, introduction, learn a little bit about something we call metacognition. Very important to learn about learning, essentially. But then we'll also be looking at essential ideas in chemistry and tools of quantitative chemistry. We'll talk about these links here in a minute, but those bring you to the different pages on the website. But you also see the reading that you should be doing for those sections. So you see, in general, for the first week, you should be reading sections 1.1 to 1.6 in your textbook. You also see the homework due dates here. You'll see homework due dates in the active platform as well. It will tell you when everything is due. You have access to most homework assignments 10 days before it is due. So you have access and you can begin working on it well ahead of time. Excuse me. But you see those. Ooh. I have to get used to talking so much again. But you see those due dates right up on the website and on the active platform. Just a one note. So most of homework, like I said, is due Monday, basically by midnight. The first one, due to Labor Day. I'm not going to have you have homework due on a university holiday. And so the first due date is a little bit different. And so just make sure you make note of that. You'll also see our exam schedule in here. So your first exam is going to be Monday, September 26th. Make sure to note that down. Again, I will be communicating more about those, about your upcoming exams and so forth. And so you have the full schedule for the semester right here, everything we are going to be covering. Let's see if there's anything else really on here that I want to really hit before. No. Let's look at where these links take you on some of this. So for instance, right here, if you go to our second week, you'll see that one of our topics is atoms, molecules, and ions. We're looking at atomic structure, isotopes, and atomic mass. If we click on the link that it brings you to, it brings us to a page of the website. And that page is in here, this particular one, we're in Unit 1. This is our atoms, molecules, and ions page. Same thing, same website. And we see here the different objectives of this topic, looking at the history of atomic structure, describing atomic structure and defining atomic number and mass number, looking at terminology of the periodic table, writing formulas, and naming compounds. And so if we look, for instance, down here at Objective 2, describing atomic structure and looking at mass number and atomic number, we see Objective 2. These are the tasks that you should do in addition to going to lecture and doing your homework and so forth. These are the tasks you should be doing in order to master this material. Section 2.3 of your textbook, and you see that lines up with the schedule. That's one of the sections that you are supposed to read for that material. And if you click these links in particular, it'll bring you right to that section of your textbook, atomic structure and symbolism. When it says watch these course videos, these are separate from the lecture videos that you will be watching. And so these link you to separate videos that I made, or in some cases, videos that you see like this one, that I linked from different links.
Have the same atomic number.
And so those are supplemental videos that will just help you to master the content. The other thing that you'll find on the website under these unit pages, for instance, if you go to Unit 1 materials, you'll find all of the different lecture slides that I base my lectures off, all the different PowerPoint slides and whatnot. Here are some of those supplemental videos that I was talking about. And so some of these are just if you're having trouble, for instance, with molecules and ionic compounds later, this is a video that would just gets more into detail and is more focused on that. And lots of different practice problems. And so these unit pages through here just give you lots of information about what you need in order to be successful with the various units that we cover. And the materials page in the site gives you lots of just different resources to help you learn and master the material. Let's see. The lectures. So when I send you an email in every Monday, I will have links to the lectures that my recorded lectures that you should be watching, again, rather than coming to live lecture, where this is an online course. And those are right here as well. If you go to this previous lectures slide, these are all of the different, and there will be a couple more in here for your unit. I've got to add a couple of supplemental ones in here. But for instance, Unit 1, these are most of the lecture videos that you will be watching, again, as opposed to coming to lecture. And so these will be linked, again, in the emails that I send you, but they will also be right here on the website. And you should be able to line those up pretty well. Like, for instance, you'll see right here in our third week, this is one of the things that we'll be discussing, composition of substances, the mole. And if you go to this previous lecture page, you'll see a lecture titled The Mole. And so these videos here are what are taking the place for you, taking the place of coming to lecture. And so you'll see those there. What else do I want to talk about with the website? A few things here still. Brightspace discussions. Let's talk about Brightspace a little bit. I don't use Brightspace for a lot, for a few different reasons. Personally, I really like the Google site that I made. I do use it for a couple things though. So if we go into your class here, and I'll switch my view to be more like what yours would look like. One of the things that I do use it for is grade reporting. And so, I mean, through the active site, you'll be able to see what your homework grades are. and so you'll have access to that. I get exams back very quickly. Honestly, I still haven't worked out how to get your paper exams back to you, but that's something that we'll be figuring out as the semester goes on. But you'll also see, so if you go to the grades page, you'll see that I'll keep track here of your homework average. I'll have your exam scores posted. Now, this will not take into account the exam dropping policy, so keep that in mind. But then I'll be able to post your final exam here. So this will be a way for you to help keep track of your grade throughout the course and give you a rough idea of where you stand overall. The other thing that you'll find on Brightspace, if you didn't see where I just went to, assessments, discussion, this is where if you have questions, I want you to post them for the most part. I want you to post questions that you have either about content or about how the class is going, different course policies. Post those questions here to this Brightspace platform. That way, everyone has the opportunity to see it, because chances are if you have a question about exams or homework, some sort of general question, somebody else has that same question. So you could post that here in the general questions and be able to get an answer to that. Or other people would have the advantage of seeing the answer to the question as well. Or as we're going along, atoms, molecules, and ions. Let's say you're really confused about how to find the number of protons. So you start a thread maybe titled the number of protons. How do you find the number of protons of an atom? So that's your question. You don't try to do that. You're still a little confused. And so you post that question here. So you would post it. And so then that question is popping up. And so then one advantage to Brightspace is that I'm going to be monitoring and trying to answer questions when I can, but I'm not always going to be available. And so your classmates can answer questions too. And so let's say one of your classmates knows that the atomic number is equal to the, trouble typing, going too fast, equal to the number of protons, you're watching my bad typing, and can be found on the periodic table. So one of your classmates might post that and answer it before I even have a chance to. And so that's one of the advantages to Brightspace as well, is that it's a community. And so, or it's your classroom community. And so you can get faster answers. I'm usually pretty good about responding to email, but maybe I went up to my parents' camp for the weekend, or maybe my kid's sick, and so I haven't had a chance to check email for a little while. One of your classmates might be able to respond faster than I can. And so that's something that I do use Brightspace for, are just some of those various discussions. And then towards the bottom, hey, if you see something cool happening in chemistry news, throw it up there. Well, let's check out what's going on. Or if you think you could see, if you have a good chemistry joke or meme, share it with us. Make us chuckle a little bit. And so you can use Brightspace for that. Any emails that I send you. That's part of the reason that I use Google Groups. You've probably gotten an email that you are signed up for a Google group. And so remember that there are two sections. Section 1 is the live section that I'm teaching. Section 2 will be the remote course, will be all of you. And so any of the emails that I send you, I send through Google Groups. And part of the reason is that I can then post them here. So if you know, oh, Professor Staples sent us that email 3 days ago about such and such, I can't find it. I've had a million emails since then. I can't find it through my inbox. Come here to these announcements and you'll have a listing of all the emails that I've sent out to you. I'm not sure why it's not showing here, probably because I'm just not, but it should show up in general for you. What else do we have on here? Metacognition. This is something I'd read through on your own and take a look and see what's going on here. But basically, metacognition is really diving deeply into how you learn, and which can be something that's very important as you're starting out. And then I would also just check out these student success, how to be successful in this course, and some various study skills. And so I would definitely looking through these, I think will help you out, will help you to be successful in this class. And at the bottom, I'll let you read it on your own, but there is an opportunity for extra credit in the course, a little bit. And so read through that. I think that might be about it for now. I don't want to load you up too much on sort of this course intro. If you take anything away, if you don't take anything else, if you take just a few key things away from what I've talked about in this video, is again remembering that your course is going to be remote. We will not meet live for this CHY 113 course. Your lecture material, your content, instead of coming to lecture, you will be watching recorded videos of me delivering the content to you. Your exams will be live, and I will be communicating as to where those are going to take place. You'll be able to see when they take place by looking at the course website and going right to the schedule, and you will see your exam dates. You are section 2. Remember that throughout the semester. As far as anything that you see on the schedule or syllabus, you are section 2. And so you'll see section 2, first exam, Monday, September 26th at 5 p.m., which was the regularly scheduled time for this course. The other big things to remember, or the other what I would do at this point if I were you, really go through this website. There's a lot of information here. There are a lot of resources. You should really be familiarizing yourself with what is available to you on this website. I spent a lot of time on this website, and that's not to pat myself on the back. It's just to say that the reason that I do that is because I do think it is a very good resource for you. And I think that the more that you familiarize yourself with this website, the easier you will find things throughout the semester. I think that is it for now. And so, again, I will be sending out another email with when we get going on Monday with all of our all the things for our first week, all the information there. But I wanted to get this course intro video out to you just to try to answer a few questions about how things are going to go, what the semester is going to look like. A little bit different than what you anticipated, I'm sure. And so I do apologize for that. But again, this really was the best solution that we could come up with to be able to still run the course for you and still have what I hope to be a fruitful and successful CHY 113 experience. And so with that, this is Friday, whatever the date is. What is today? This is Friday the 26th, August 26th. I will be sending this video out today, so you have a chance to look at it over the weekend if you would like. It will be posted on the website as well. If you go again into this previous lectures page, this will be the link to it right here. Course intro video fall 2022. And so the link will be right there to it later on if you want as well. But I did want to send it out early so that you are able to just get an idea and have an idea over the weekend of what things are going to look like before we hit the ground running on Monday. And so in the meantime there, if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me. And I will hopefully be able to answer what you're looking for. That being said, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I look forward to a good semester. Not necessarily what you signed up for, but I think we can have a great semester in chemistry all the same. And so have a good weekend, and I will be touching base with all of you on Monday. Thanks for watching. I always wonder how to sign off, and frankly, I wasn't real happy there with thanks for watching. And so instead, we're going to go with you stay classy, USM. Have a great weekend.